don't know about you, but the readings today kind of hit hard, don't they? When the first one starts off talking about God is holy, be holy, He is holy, and the gospel ends by saying, be perfect, as your heavenly Father is perfect. And guess what? I'm nowhere near perfect. And I know it, and I question that ever will be. So what in the world is the Lord calling us to know? In the second reading, Paul says, you are a tabernacle. You are the dwelling place of Christ himself. He referred to his own body as being a tabernacle. Tear this temple down and I will rebuild it in 3 days. So you and I have a big task in front of us. And yet we don't. We're simply called to be who we are. Children of God, Paul would say there today. Children of God. Living with awareness in all that we do of who we are and how we belong to him. Now if you notice the last several weeks, I guess a deliberate way on the part of the church or in terms of the scripture, been following a pretty steady path. We looked at several weeks ago, 10 Commandments. Then we looked at the Beatitudes as kind of the new commandments. Then we went back and Jesus affirms the commandments and said he did not come to take away even the smallest part of one of the commandments. And then last week we heard Jesus himself focus in on two of them in a very particular way. And that was commit adultery and don't kill. In other words, he called those to a greater dimension. And I wonder, why did he focus on those two? Probably because they have to do with two of the strongest feelings, emotions that you and I experience in our lives. Last week we looked at our sexuality and how we are not to ever see another human being as a thing. God created male and female. God has a special call to us, if we're called to the married life, to know his love in that special way. So we must see all in that regard. That means watching our eyes and what we tend to even bring into our lives. Does it build that up or does it destroy it? So today we hear the other one focused on. And that is, not only do we not kill, but don't hate, and don't have anger, because every other person is our brother and our sister. It's like, wow, that's a big order, isn't it? It's a big order. How do we get past this sense of feeling? Some of you may know about MAD. I don't know if we have a chapter here in town or not, but MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Drivers. I say, well, there's the way to respond. Years ago, this young girl was hit by a drunk driver, killed, and her mother said, hey, we got to do something about that. And doing something about it created this organization to say, how do we get drunks off the road? Wonderful. And that's what we do with these emotions, both our sexuality and our sense of anger, if you will. Both are good. God created them. God gave them to us. They're good and they have a purpose. And just like our sexuality has a purpose, so does anger. Scripture says, be angry, but don't let anger lead to sin. In other words, it's a powerhouse within us. What do we do with power? We find ways to convert it. Whether it's wind or water, there's ways of converting power to our benefit, if you will. So today we get a lesson on that sense of power. And I kind of think of the example, because every parent goes through this somewhat or other. If you got a little one, you've gone through it already. You have a child learning to sit finally at the table, and you set a glass in front of him of milk, and what happens? It gets a little closer and closer, and pretty soon, the child's reaching over here for something. There goes the glass of milk. What do? You get mad and kill him, right? You might have an emotional feeling. It's like, darn, you blame yourself first. It's like, well, I should have kept an eye on it, moved it a little bit. Then the day comes, guaranteed, somewhere along the line, you say, hey, I want you to eat this. The child looks at you, no. Now this time you knew it wasn't an accident, huh? Now what do? You kill him this time, right? No. You say, you might get a little more angry, a little more emotional, but you realize, I've got to do something more about that. Both in terms of maybe of discipline and in terms of sippy cups. There's solutions. So we begin to do things about it. And that's what we're called to do with this energy of anger and hate that we all sometimes feel. Say, how do I convert that to where it is productive for the other? Now Jesus gives us, like, say, an example today. He said, turn the other cheek. That was in terms of, if you were insulted. The backhand that's an insult. Okay, I know we're looking at insult. What about self-defense? Even there, we are called to love the other person, even if it's a self-defense actions. But always, whatever we do must be in love. You know, how do you love someone like that? You all know the story of my niece. This week would be 14 years ago that we buried her and her family. What you don't know is we buried them all in one casket. Finding them 10 days later, my brother said, there's no way I'm going to separate my daughter from her child. Well, hey, if you're not going to separate her from the child, why separate her from the dad either? So they all went in the same casket. It's like, what do? You have to love. You have to love. Realizing that evil does exist in the world, yes. By the way, if you do want to see that sermon, it's on my Facebook page. You can look it up. But this is who they are. No matter how terrible the crime, how terrible the assaults against us, we have to, in faith, draw up the action of love. And loving the other person, say, okay, Lord, how do I best, in a way, help this other person? How do I best use this energy that I'm feeling to make a change in society, in the world, so that truly it is a better place for all of us? Today, as we continue this process of going through, if you will, the commandments, we go through recognizing that we are children of God. We are temples of God. We are called to be, therefore, a reflection of Christ Jesus himself in the world. Say, okay, Lord, how did you handle that? And you and I just have to look at the cross. We see how he handled hate, anger, how he would handle every assault against him. Today, we pray for the grace to be that example in this modern world to help make the changes that are so necessary in a hurting world.